Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to Monica Moore Smith for joining us today, one of the stars of the new Great American Family movie, Happily Ever Emma. Thank you so much, Monica.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to get into this.
Tell us a bit, what's been the main element in Emma's character and the movie in general that fascinates you the most and drew you to join Happily Ever Emma?
Well, I think a lot of people will relate to being a fan of Jane Austen's works. And something I actually really think is a funny bit of history with the story that it's based on, Jane Austen's Emma,
Mhm.
is that Jane Austen actually wrote this later in her career when she was trying to make a story that she thought would not sell well, specifically just to see if she could. And she kind of almost made Emma like the story like as a joke because she didn't think it would sell well. And, especially in a different era where maybe like female protagonists were not as popular, it ended up doing really well and people really clung to the character Emma and related to her so much. And so when I got the opportunity to do this and knowing some of the history behind it, I just thought like, how fun, like what an ironic um, piece to be put together. And I just thought I think it's a piece that really speaks to many people, and there's a character for everyone to relate to. So yeah.
That's so true. And relating to that, considering also our Great American Family movies and shows always feature some well-shaped characters and relatable storylines for the audience, uh, in your opinion, where are you and Emma most similar, and where are you two most different as human beings?
Oh, good question. Well, we're both actresses. I think that's the most like obviously tangible thing to latch on if someone was just looking from the outside. But I guess if we're digging deeper, I think we're most similar in the aspect of like the matchmaking thing, where I think Emma's very hyper focused on like all of these things, other people, friends, career, as a distraction from the fact that Emma's truly like deeply a romantic at heart. And I think I relate to that, where like people wouldn't pitch me as a romantic for myself because, oh, I push off dating, or oh, I'm not interested, or oh, I'm too busy with being an actress. But I think in reality, like deep down, I'm a softie and I'm a sucker for a good romance. And I think Emma's the same way, where she's kind of in denial. And I think that's why a lot of people relate to her, where it's like we almost believe like there's no one out there for us. And that's why we want to put other people together, but not ourselves. And then it takes like the right person coming into our lives to go, oh, actually, you know what? There is someone for me. And actually, I really like being lovey dovey. I think that's how I'm most similar. I think how I'm most different. Oh, maybe we're maybe we're pretty similar. Um, she probably goes on more lunch dates with her girlfriends than I do. I think maybe that's our biggest difference. She goes out to eat more at fancier restaurants.
And to all the people that are looking forward to watching Happily Ever Emma, how would you describe the movie if you had just like three words?
Ooh, okay. Um, Unexpected, exciting, and mm, satisfying.
Great picks.
Thank you.
And talking about acting wise, in your opinion, what's been the biggest challenge for you in portraying Emma?
Oh, I think one of the biggest challenges when it came to approaching Emma was, I think when you read a script as an actor and you know how things are going to end up, it can be hard to not let that get in the way of what the character's experiencing in that moment, in that scene. because you get hindsight, but the character doesn't have that hindsight yet. And so there's certain choices that Emma makes throughout where I, on the outside, could judge my character and go, no, 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 no. Like there is love out there. You have to believe, be positive. You're distracting yourself. And I can see the part of Emma where she's in denial. And I go, no, no, you're missing out. You're not getting it. But that's the beauty, I think, of the story, is learning how to put myself in the shoes of the character, having that empathy. And then we all get to go on that journey with Emma from beginning to end, and to see how much she grows into becoming who she is at the end of the story. And there's some really fun stuff that happens at the end. So
Yeah. And talking about Hema and Gray's relationship, what can
Mhm.
people expect from that? And how was it like for you to build this relationship with then folks?
um I actually had a lot of fun on set. All of us like just clicked pretty instantly. Some of the actors I had already worked with before, some I had just become acquainted with. And through this process, like we kind of just became friends, or closer friends in real life. And so it was nice to just kind of pull from our real lives, and we're all so different and so unique, just like, Hope and everyone within the show. We all do like have our own unique personalities, and so really we just got to like play together in these scenes and pull from real life, which nothing's better than, I think, an authentic experience.
Absolutely. And now a little fun question that we always ask to the people we're interviewing. And considering we're talking about Happily Ever Emma, it's on the
Mhm.
Happily Ever Emma universe. If you could choose any other character on the movie apart from Emma, a character that you would have loved to play if you could, which one would it be and why?
Oh, um, that's such a good question. I I'm like, how do I say without giving spoilers? I feel like either I would want to play Hope, just because I feel like Hope is kind of like the opposite of Emma in the way that they balance each other out. And I would just love to play the opposite side of that. But I think it would also be really fun to play Mason's character, Barry Bell. Um, and you have to watch the movie to see exactly why, because I don't want to spoil anything, but I think his role would be really, really fun.
Dan said the same about Mason's role.
Did he?
Yeah.
I think, and you'll have to watch it, of course, to see what we're talking about. But you will watch and you'll go, "Oh my gosh, there's some stuff that goes down." So I would relish in that role. I would love to play that.
And did you take anything from set to remember this experience as Emma? Any prop or any piece of costume?
I actually didn't, and I wish I did. Some of the pieces I were mine, but oh, actually, that's a lie. There is a pair of jeans that I accidentally stole on accident, but I accidentally left a pair of my
We won't
jeans,
tell anyone.
like secrets.
Yeah.
But I accidentally left one of my pair of jeans with them, so it was just like a trade. And then by the time I remembered, it was too late. It didn't matter. They didn't know where their jeans were, and so I was like, well, I incidentally got a little souvenir. But other than that, mostly it was like crafty, bunch of fruit snacks. That's what I took home from set.
You have some good memories from all this experience instead.
Oh, so many good memories. And like the movie came along at a point in my life that like I was kind of struggling. And so it was really such like a bright spot to be surrounded by so many great people, and just to go on set and just to have fun and get to make a movie. Like it was just like it gave me something to look forward to. And so it really, I attribute it to making that year like a good year, honestly.
Absolutely. And do you have any fun anecdotes to share with us from the filming of Happily Ever Emma?
Oh, any funny things that happened? Okay. Oh, I didn't think about it. Let me think. Um, well, I guess the funniest thing, the first thing that comes to mind, um, there well, there's two things. So Mason, who plays Barry, and he plays one of the love interests, he is actually I've worked opposite him in like two other movies. And so we kind of have this running joke that it's like our characters in these different universes because we always end up getting paired together
Yeah.
for some reason. Um and so it was just funny being on set and like joking about how our characters from like past movies have like connected and intertwined, and these are our alternate egos. And then on top of that, one of the actresses who, let's just say, she sort of plays a villain, and she actually in a different movie I did also played the villain and kept trying to steal all my men in that movie, and so she was also with this one doing the same thing. So I just thought it was funny, like some of the crossover, and there were just like a lot of jokes cracked about it throughout filming, and it was just like we're all like getting the characters now confused. And so those are like fun little Easter eggs to look out for.
That's amazing. We'll see in the movie all the Easter eggs there will be about this.
Yes, yes, I'm excited.
And throwing back instead to the origins of your career as an actress, how did the passion for acting come about in your life?
It honestly came up unexpectedly, which I feel like most actors that I work with, like when they're little, they just know from the day they're born, they're meant to be a performer. I didn't relate to that. It came upon kind of like later on. I was a very shy kid. I was really invested in the sports world. I was not like an actress. I didn't know that's what I wanted to be. I also didn't know that was something that was possible, and almost kind of like Emma, where it's like a girl with like big dreams just trying to make something happen from nothing, starting out with, no connections in the industry, and didn't know that that was like a possible job to even have. Like it's kind of like a little girl's dream come true, where I never even considered it as a kid until later becoming an adult and sort of falling into it. And I started in musical theater, and then from there someone approached me and was like, hey, do you consider doing film ever? And I was like, sure. I don't think I'm good at it. I don't know. And I realized like I loved it. I just thrived in the environment, and I have a passion for acting, and especially being so shy, like it was almost a form of therapy for me to be able to be so open and vulnerable through these characters, which is something I was never able to do throughout my life because I was so reserved and so scared. And it really became this outlet. And then, I mean, I guess knock on wood, it seems like it's working out. So I guess I'm
Yes,
kind of good at it too. So that's it. Really was not something I expected, but it's something I needed.
absolutely. And I feel what when you say that it helped you personally, like acting and such, because I felt the same on a personal level because I started singing when I was like 17 and such. And I
Oh,
love musical theater, so one of my biggest passions ever. And
oh,
and I was a very shy person myself, and ever since I started singing and it all turned upside down, my life turned upside down, and it really helped me like going
wow.
speaking in public and or even doing interviews like this. I would never have done something like this like years before, years
It
ago.
opens, it's such an outlet and opens so many doors and kind of teaches you like actually like it's okay and you're going to be okay and it's not that scary, and you realize like the beauty of kind of sharing your personality and your light through this. And I love hearing that. I love that you sing and do musical theater and have a shared passion.
Yeah. And among all the projects that you had the chance to work on so far, is there any particular one that you're mostly fond of?
Oh, see, it's hard because every project I've done, and I make sure I always choose projects that I love, and of course, every project will have its ups and downs, but overall, like it has to be a good experience for me to spend and dedicate my craft and my time to it. Um, but I think probably I would have to credit like the first movie I ever did, Saturday's Warrior, when I was just barely 18. I'd been auditioning for this movie for over a year, I want to say, and we were doing callbacks for a long time. And I didn't think I'd book it because I'd never done film before. I didn't act in movies. I was a new green. And on my 18th birthday, I went in for a callback and I said to myself, like, if they don't book me now, like I'm just gonna quit. Like it's not worth it. Like they don't want me. And I got in, it was on my 18th birthday. I showed up and they were like,
Yeah.
actually, we're giving you the role. And I couldn't believe it because there were so many people flying in from LA, like people who actually had careers in this already. And I was so new. And um, that experience like cemented for me, once I got to meet everyone on set and rehearse with them and was acting with them, and Mason was also in that, like it it was such a good experience, and the cast really became a family to me that I realized I was like, oh my gosh, there's this whole world I've been missing out on my whole life, and like this is what I want. And because that was so pivotal in my career, and just even like as an artist, like I would have to say that, like I can't choose anything else but that.
Yes. And now our final question. If you had the chance to give some advice to young people who wants to pursue an acting career or a career in entertainment in general, what kind of advice would you give them?
Oh, I think there is a lot of advice out there that I would hear as an artist, or that a lot of artists are told. And I think it's commonly like, just be yourself, be unique, be different, be real. And um, I always struggled with that because oftentimes I felt like I was doing that. I was being real and I was being honest. And it's really hard to be real and be yourself and get rejected. But I think instead of focusing on just being yourself, because I think everyone kind of knows, like, that's one of the goals. I think in order to pursue this career and feel fulfilled at the end of the day, you need to figure out why. What is your why to coming into this? Why do you like acting? Or why do you like writing? Or why do you like singing? Because if you don't have a why, it's going to be so hard. But if you have a why, no matter what comes at you, at the end of the day, you can have that like satisfaction and pride in having purpose in your craft. And it doesn't matter if you're booking gigs or not, because you can just be doing auditions and feeling that same high that you get on set because you just love what you do. And so I think, there's a lot of advice out there, but I think the biggest thing that's made a difference to me is knowing deep down to my core, what is my why? Because no matter what, if I know what my why is, I can achieve that at the end of the day, whether or not a director hires me or not. It is not dependent on them. It's all internal. And that is huge. That's, I think, the best piece of advice I could give.
Thank you so much, Monica. It's been really incredible to have you here and to chat with you.
Thank you so much for having me. I love this. I love digging into it. So I appreciate the good questions.
Thank you. And let's remind people that Happily Ever Emma premieres March 4 on Great American Family. And we can't wait to see what's next for Emma and Gray and their story.
So excited. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you again. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.